Good morning to everybody. Let me just put the music on and get my coffee, and I hope you're going to do exactly the same so we can start really nicely working through what this week is going to bring us. Okay, so let's go. Good morning, everybody. I forgot my sweetener in my coffee, and I hope everybody is okay. Let me switch and see this chat. Let's see who is here. Good morning, good morning. It's such a lovely day in Toronto, guys. How is where you are? Okay, so let's see. Natty Cat is here. Dion is here. Isha. Oh my gosh, like we're just gathering like 3 people. Well, it's okay. It's going to be nice and kind of like cozy. If there's just, oh, there's a Brooklyn. Good morning, Brooklyn. So there are a few people joining in. I know I started like a few minutes early because, guys, we had horrible weather in Toronto and we still don't have anything green, at least not where I am. So I want to take advantage of these temperatures at least as I can. So what I'm doing today, I am actually going sign by sign by sign by sign. Like, right, I know, like I said, sometimes I'm going to do the elements, but this time I'm going to do the signs. So since you're still ruled with Aries this week and the next week, happy birthday, Aries, and happy belated to everybody who celebrated last week. Also, the X series are coming up, but I'm kind of like having I don't know, still the leftovers of the flu or burnout, so I'm just like kind of working through it really slow. Good morning, Chris. Okay, sip of coffee, and we are starting with Aries. Aries, good morning, Sally. So can one of the mods, do you guys know how to do the timing? You just see the time. I don't know if you guys see it on your end. I see it on my end. I can tell you. So that way we can kind of like finish the stamping by the end of this chat. So 4:15, Aries. Okay, let's see. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 4:15, Aries for the upcoming week. For the upcoming week. Aries for the upcoming week. So you're having a Sky King, which is kind of really interesting. You're kind of coming to some situation where you're no longer looking for opinions of a whole bunch of other people. You are simply looking for what is right for you in the situation, but not only selfishly me. It's kind of like, how will my actions affect everybody in a situation? So, and this one wanted to come out, and then it's a Four of C. Like, it's almost like something that you're pushing yourself to do, because look at him, and there's like two more that they want to come out, or three or four or five. Jesus, whole bunch of stuff over here. Are you Aries people? Any Aries over here? Is anybody here going through some kind of like crap, I guess? Because it almost like sounds to me, you guys, you want to move forward, you're trying to kind of like peel yourself off the couch or whatever you want to call, but like, this is really me, this is how I am. That's kind of like that burnout that I was explaining, sort of like, no matter how enticing things are, it's just like, not me, not now. And the Death card that came here, right, which is reversed, and so we have a 13 and we also have a 14. You do know that certain changes are needed, but as long as you don't do these changes, you're going to feel stuck. I really have to tell you, you know everything. Intellectually, you figured out I have to do A, B, C, D, and E. But when the time comes in the evening that you kind of like review what you did, it was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even do A. Some of you guys are clearly going through the motions, going through emotional motions. You are, Five of C clearly is that dreaded card, which in the other decks talks about rejection and talks about sorrow. It talks about missing someone, right? But in this deck, look, it's almost like embarrassment. There is like some situation that has been experienced. Look, the kitty cat fell into the little, I guess, pond, a quick slash aquarium, and embarrassed itself in front of the fishies, right? And that's kind of like a thing over here. So what do you look at? It's the whole point of this card is like, look where you are, look at the beautiful surroundings, look what is around you. Like, is that all the fish over here? And look at the big vast ocean or sea. This is most likely Greece, so most likely we are talking about, you know, Aegean Sea. So there is like much more fish there. No need to despair or something, but I guess this was easy. So again, it really talks about something that is not easy. And look at that card. Isn't this card sort of sad? Kind of like all these 9 lives that are kind of like finally lost, all of the very last one, and they're all getting lifted at the same time. But when the Scorpionic card, the Death, reverses, it always like is really telling me that it should be something that had to be learned, but it hasn't been. Because in the next phase, of 14th phase, when we have Grace in this particular deck, or Temperance, it's kind of like walking on the other side, as you can see. And sometimes it's not exactly what you want. But this card is usually meshing things that actually don't really go together. So if the couple has dispute, or if you have some maybe issues at work, or it's emotional disturbance, it is like assuring us that, hey, you know what, things are going to get better. In fact, you're going to be really, really surprised how good they are going to get. And in the end, look at that Sea Tome, which is basically the Knight of Cups, and this is like a really, really good ending. In the end, you're getting yourself emotionally balanced because you're going through the emotions. Look at this: water, 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 water. You have lots of water, you have air, and you have fire. So you do not have basically pentacles. So that's missing, which means that maybe you're lacking appreciation, maybe at work, maybe you're lacking appreciation in your family for all the things that you do and everything that you contribute, and you're going through motion, how to position yourself, not to get it, but sort of like find life or find some kind of like different entry into the situation that's going to be pleasant. And if you guys are on the market, if you're looking for someone, because I'm seeing quite a few stories over here, and you know, in weeklies I don't go in too many details, but I do see the singles over here will have the entry of somebody else, but the others might be really disappointed, who maybe are already kind of like dealing with someone, or you don't know where to go. Maybe there's like still kind of like longing for someone. But one thing is for sure, both singles and those who are like who are kind of like still in between relationships, and even those who are in happy relationships and they're like maybe just reconfiguring some other things in their life, are going to have like, I mean, finale of the week really kind of like nicely done. It's almost like that big crescendo and fireworks at the very end. So I'm not afraid of you, for you guys. Where are my angel cards? Let's do the angel cards over here. And I see somebody already broke their toy. And that's the Safi toy over here. And we all got some flu. Tiger got flu, Safi got flu, Matrix is still kind of like holding, but everybody is on antibiotics. Hey, good morning, Andy. How are you doing? Okay, so let's check it out. How's Sally? Nice to see you, Kylie. So Aries, integrity. I'm wondering, and I don't know like why I keep being drawn to tell you there are like some issues at your work, and I know that generally I kind of like don't really pay attention to general reading. I more or less do regular reading, but in this weekly I just really go with what my intuition is guiding me toward, and I keep feeling that you almost like feel that you have to act differently, that you have to play a role of some form, either like in your workspace or in your family space, and you feel this is awkward and you feel, well, you know, I kind of like don't like it. It doesn't kind of like really suit me. Some of you also might be dealing with Sagittarians, some of you might be dealing with Scorpio, and some of you might be dealing with air signs or even water signs. And there is like this idea of you needing to figure out your own path. And integrity, what is integrity? Integrity is like, which movie was that? Oh my gosh, Scent of a Woman. Anybody watch that movie? When Pacino says, look, you know the right and you know the wrong, and you know the right way, you know the wrong way, and most people take shortcuts. And when somebody, you know, takes the right path and they're questioned and being kind of like pushed down for that, that basically means that the other person is a bully. Something like that, I'm paraphrasing. So here is like really important that you guys are actually really looking into that fairness, that the Sky King is doing that, and that's actually really going to get you very far. Maybe, you see, what I find when I kind of like am honest, you know, I always kind of like get the short end of the stick, right? So, and but I really know that I can look really, really long term, especially doing this job. I cannot really afford doing anything as a shortcut, because then I lose ability for reading, and etc., etc. So it for you can manifest somehow differently. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's see who I want to do next. Maybe I want to put it back because we're doing them individually this time around. So that one was like, first one was like 4 something, 415. Who is going to track, guys? Who am I going to put in charge? Kylie, are you going to be here? Can you kind of like write this down and then just like drop me a note or post it on so I can post it on a timeline? So who is doing this? So who I want to do next? Do we want to go in order? Let's go in order. So it's going to be less confusing. So the next one will be Taurus. It is like 1345. Thank you, sweetie Kylie. 1345 is Taurus. Taurus, 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 Taurus. I was looking for 2 or 3 cards, not like for 7, but Aries, like, it's my birthday. Just give to me this reading. Okay, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Okay, so this is what I was like hoping to get. Oh, you're also having a Sea Tom. You are having 2 of Sky reversed, and you have Earth King reversed, which is you. So Taurus, what's up? What's up, Taurus? You kind of like, and let's kind of like check these cards on the top. Yeah, I guess this one, and this one. Okay, so good news and bad news. I see female Taurus. Oh, what happened? My playback just says an error occurred. Please try back again. Oh, let me see. Let me try to refresh. What the heck is going on here? You're still official in Mercury retrograde. Let's see if this is going to pick up. Yes, it did. Okay. Ouch. So what I see for you Tauruses, I see female Taurus. Let me just try to get this camera a little bit better. And I see male Tauruses. So male Tauruses are not going to have as good a week as female Tauruses. Let me put it this way. Look, you guys have a fire kitten here. You have 7 of Sea, which is 7 of Cups. You have Earth Queen. Just move it this way. Over here, that would be Queen of Pentacles. That would be Sea Tom, which would be Knight of Cups. You have 2 of Sky, which is like 2 of Swords, and then you have Earth King reversed. Now, Earth King generally represents Taurus. In the other decks, this deck is like not so particular about astrology over here, but I see lots of people. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 people. So Taurus, it almost looks like that you're prepping, maybe especially early Tauruses, it's your birthday coming up, or it could be because you're an Earth sign and Easter is coming up really, 21st or something, right? So that you're like really thinking about some kind of like family, you know, gathering. And this can just simply speak that, you know, there's like some coordination. Maybe you guys are the ones who are organizer, who are saying we are going to meet at my place this time around. Well, family is a special type, right? For you, family doesn't necessarily mean friends. Like, for example, for Aquarians, it means. For you, family means comfort. And the comfort means that you really want to, you know, give the best food, but also give the best impression about how your home looks like and what everything is else around. It could be, again, the sea tom. Always when I see the sea tom, I look at that cuddly thing, is kind of like invitation to, and it's going to be somebody outside of your family who you might invite to some kind of like family gathering, but this also could simply mean that you're meeting somebody, or you have a couple of people in your life that you're really choosing about, and right now you're choosing, you're like really kind of like considering them. And for some of you, it could mean that this is a marriage, that there's like an issue in a marriage, that there could like be a little bit discrepancy because this is a couple that is no longer a couple, right? When one is reversed, that's for sure. And kind of like people are looking their own ways and how to do things, and it usually happens around holidays. There's lots of strife, especially in blended families. And here is like this kitty who actually, look, you know, this looks really good and this looks really good, but I'm not so sure, like, I mean, which way the wind blows kind of a thing. Maybe you're expecting unexpected. This also speaks to me about tensions, about possibly introducing a new person in your life. It could be that you want to introduce somebody to a family and sort of like that. And you're experiencing some issues, sort of like saying, listen, there'll be issues with the children, because the fire kitten can simply mean, you know, a child. But this is something like also half-baked, literally with fire sign. And when it is reversed, and I don't know if you can see here, look at him, the kitty cat playing with candle. What can go wrong? But can you see here, this tail is already on fire over here. So come on, like, you need to focus. Things are actually really going to happen. And yeah, I usually find when there's like very immature energy, and this also can suggest to me arguments. It could mean feeling kind of like cornered to some kind of like extent, and hence you don't like the situation where you're at, but you want to get out. I kind of like see that as well. But why did I say it's going to be much better for females than for males? Because the Earth Queen is up and Earth King is down. So, or it could also mean, though, it can have the meaning that you females will feel intimidated by another person in your family. It could be matriarch, right? Somebody who is having really strong opinions and kind of like really doesn't care what you think, right? It's one of those situations when you want to close yourself in a toilet and scream. So it's going to be a week that it's going to be lots of positioning. Maybe some of you will feel that you're overspending. but at the same time, you're going to spend lots of money on beauty products. You're going to probably get your hair done. You're going to get some clothes and kind of like shopping. So that's kind of like really interesting. But be very careful that you have a refund policy if you're shopping, because I can see that you might be deciding to return things back. Okay, so let's see. Expectancy. And it's not necessarily about pregnancy. This is about gifts. So yeah, it could be something about Easter, and it could be simply that you're refining yourself, who you want, who you don't want, what you will tolerate, what kind of people you want in your life. And since you guys draw energy from family and from, you know, like life and family that you have created, right? Like your business could be your family. It's almost like that maybe you're getting that kind of like a reward from somebody, and somebody's going to possibly give you something meaningful. I think your birthdays are starting on 23rd, right? So that's kind of like going to be very, very interesting over here. Okay, so next is Gemini. I'm kind of like doing my X's like randomly and just like simply pull the sign from a hat, not to kind of like to relax much, but this is it. Yeah, this for me this last week, guys, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I'm suffering from something. I don't know if it's flu. It must be flu because I have a temperature, and puppy was sick, really sick. He got kennel cough, and Safi got kennel cough from him. So imagine. And I feel that it's maybe not kennel cough, even though the vet said it is. That could be just the flu that I had that they all got from me. It happens. We can transfer it to them, so we'll see it. So this is 2145 Gemini. 2145 Gemini. 2145 Gemini. Oh, you were not good kitty, Geminis. You were not good kitties. Why is that? And you have the floating cat, you have the 8 of sky, and you have 3 of fire. Okay, look at this good kitty. It looks so pretty as a card. This is the karma card. It is the judgment card. In this particular card, we sort of like come to, I mean, metaphorically, to the end of our life, to the end of the process, and sort of like there's this question, have you been good, have you been bad? And that's very relative. Because not everything is actually really, really beneficial. I did tell you that joke about the bird, right? The bird is flying to the south, and I'm a horrible joke teller. The bird is flying to the south, and all of a sudden it's starting to be really cold, so the bird kind of like drops down on the soil, and it kind of like thumbs its head, so kind of like faints. So slept for a while, but the next day, kind of like when it's coming to its senses, like she's noticing she's like frozen, she's like stuck to the ground, everything is like kind of like frozen, so she's like really, really panicky about it. But a cow is kind of like passing by, and she kind of like craps on basically the little birdie, and that was horrible. But the manure kind of like started to warm up the bird, and she started to defrost and feel better, and she's, oh my gosh, look at this, I'm back, I'm not dead. She started to chirp, and next thing you see, the fox is jumping and getting the little birdie and eating it. It's gross, I know, but what's the moral of the story? Not everybody who shits on you is your enemy, right? And when you are like nice and cozy, keep your mouth shut, right? Kind of a thing. There are like 2 lessons in it. So this is like something like that. So sometimes unfortunate things would actually be the good things, and we just have one-track mind. We want what we want. So when this reverses, especially when it's like with this, it looks like to me, guys, that you don't want to do needed sacrifices. These are like very 2 important cards, right? Both of them are connecting with the creator, whatever the creator is for you, right? For me, since I don't believe in God, I am sort of like looking into good versus bad. And it's, let's say I'm sort of like my own judge over here, continuously checking myself how to do things. And I really feel that if I do something bad, for example, if I lie, if I, for example, did tell you a lie that I'm sick and I'm actually not sick, I would get sick immediately. This is kind of like karma immediately reacts on me. So this is a card of God, because the floating cat talks about this ultimate sacrifice. And you know, like in every religion, in every mythology, you know, there was like something, Jesus died on a cross for all of us, right? And here it is like, I mean, okay, so now this life that somebody has given to you, that you worked on, how did you really work it? With both of these cards being reversed, you guys are feeling somehow stuck, but you maybe are thinking that you're doing sacrifices, but the others are not feeling the same way. I feel that maybe you're looking to hear from somebody, and it feels that they are stuck. They're stuck in a situation. Look at this. Like, I mean, I love this image, Eight of Sky. There is this issue. Look at the kitty is like in all his branches. And so what is kitty doing? Trying to kind of like go left and right and scratching itself and kind of like injuring herself. The only solution here is to really relax and strategize, right? So when this card reverses, it's saying that you are really able to do finally that. You're still in a situation which kind of like is not fun to be, but now you're realizing, okay, I'm going to duck the head under this one, and I'm going to slowly start kind of like pulling myself out, right? It's not going to be sheer, just let's try how to do it. And then you're finally kind of like going in a new direction. It could be simply that you are guys learning the methods that didn't work. And I don't know if you're dealing with Scorpio or Earth signs over here. As I said, like it could be also with air signs. I mean, you have all four elements, which actually is good. That means the week is going to be interesting. You'll be given a choice, and you guys can choose the right or wrong. The right will include you sacrificing something, and not color of a nail polish, something that you really don't want to do. But usually the sacrifice is not something that is silly. For example, people sacrifice their singlehood in order to be married, right? So that's also a form of a sacrifice, because then for the rest of your life you will need to negotiate when you go and use the bathroom or when you sleep and that kind of stuff, right? And you might even need to sacrifice something that is really, really important to you in order to really see and understand the other person or somebody in your life. You're going to also feel that maybe this has been imposed upon you, and hence you're going to really struggle with this, and you're not going to want to do that, because when they're reversed, it says that you'll say, yeah, I'll do it, but you really don't do it. So hence, it's maybe going to be some kind of like situation where somebody blocks you out. So keep that in mind. After all, in the end, Three of Fire, you guys are preparing to kind of like figuring your way out. You know where to go. You're finally kind of calming down and getting through it. So that's all good. But the beginning of the week and this weekend can be really intense. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, and I hope you land on your feet. Support. What is with the support thing? It almost looks, oh, I see. Somebody's trying to climb the wall. And that kind of like would make sense to me. In fact, not so much the lettering support, but more or less the connection over here. Because after all, you're an air sign. Did you wall yourself up, guys? Did you kind of like decide, this could be you, or it could be somebody you're trying to reach out to, and as a result, there's like lots of festering inside. Things are happening. You think that the rest of the world feels a little bit weird, you know, and there's like a lots of that kind of like happening over here. So this is really saying that you need to reach out to the other people and really think through your actions and steps and how to do it. All right, so somebody needs to be smack silly, or that, yeah. Okay, did you get it? Which part of that you didn't get, right? So it's very simple. That would work, right? I get along with all men. I don't. I simply don't. So what do I do now? This was Gemini, and the next one is Cancer. Cancer. Oh my goodness, Andy. Cancer. What do you do, Andy? What do you do if you want to share? I'll have a sip of my coffee. So Kylie, the next will be Cancer, and it is 29, 25. Cancer. Ooh, we have the Tower reverse. This is not good. And this is sort of like a relative to your card, the Chariot. When the Tower reverses, it is always telling me, and look at this card here, right? Like a really nice tower with a whole bunch of stairs. But it's just like a simple thunder managed to kind of like push it all over down. So like this kitty condo or whatever is not working out anymore. So it has to be repaired right on the bottom. It has to be stabilized. So there is like some destabilizing situation. But the Tower is usually, when it comes reversed, you don't really see something really big happening. You don't have a flat tire. You don't have, you know, the bill that is just like demanding to be paid right away. You don't know how to do that. No, this is something that is actually still working in the background, that you continue to do and willingly doing it and knowing that is wrong. So it could be something as simply as not paying your bills, and then all of a sudden they'll catch up with you later. But this can also mean about cluelessness. Sometimes it's also avoidance of the things that kind of like happen over there. So that's really, really interesting. You know, Dion, let's not do that. I really don't like name calling. So no, that's not right, because that's really going, no, guys, I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I just don't like it, because this whole forum is supposed to be about positivity. So try to find some kind of like light in the situation. I mean, you would not like to do this job, like people are complaining about everything, so you have to find something in all of that. So please delete your own comment. I would appreciate that, and don't do that in the future. Okay, let me see, because I think I only have ability to I do have the ability to remove that. Okay, thank you, Brooklyn. So Cancer. Okay, Dion, you know what? This is a second warning, and third warning is going to be, I will remove you from the live chat. And I'm not kidding. Okay. Cancer. 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 Oh, I see, Andy. Full of male testosterone. Thanks for telling me that, Dion. I appreciate that. You know, we all need positive, right, guys? We all have lives that can actually be better, right? So let's use this forum to really cheer each other up. Like, I mean, I know, like, we all come from the week, and I want you to talk about what the week was all about. But at the same time, let's do it in a positive way. Try it. I tried it. It's really, really hard. So what we have here is Seven of Sky. So look, you have these two sevens over here. Cancers, I don't know what you did, but I don't want to be around your Cancers. I have to tell you, Seven of Sky is this ultimate card that either you are taking something that is not rightfully yours, or somebody will be taking that away from you. And this is not going to be a good situation. It's going to be a situation where you will feel slighted, where you will feel it's kind of like weird, right? So it is kind of like really important to kind of like really understand this motivation. This actually together could mean the same. You know, sometimes I've seen that in my readings. What that means is, for example, let's say your sister is telling you, well, you know, I always do that, and I always organize this, like, just fill the blank, right? And you never, and then you say to yourself a mental note, yeah, you know, she's right, I maybe should do it the next time. But the next time comes, you completely forget about it, right? So that's kind of like really, really weird. But then you have like this fire kitten over here, and fire kitten again is like about, you know, arguments, and something is going to go back in the past. And you know how you guys are, like, you're kind of like all weird, like, I mean, at times with how to react with people. But this is really kind of like bringing something in your past that you kind of like still kind of like mulling over, right? Okay, let me just reply to this text, and I'll finish this. I'll finish. Somebody wants to go at winners, so I'm saying yes. Okay, I am back with you. So, and I'm waiting for Amazon. It's a whole bunch of things happening. Like last week, oh my gosh, people really did a number on me. Oh, you know, do you have a Prime? Yes, I do have a Prime on Amazon. So everybody was ordering through me, and then everybody wanted to return it through me. So I just like cut everybody off from these kind of ideas. So respect. Whatever is happening, guys, here, I have to tell you, it's going to be highly challenging. And it's really hard to kind of like maintain your composure, because some people even drive you to swear. I don't know if you kind of like had that, right? And so it's really, really important to kind of like maybe make a mental note of what I'm telling you right now, because respect is both for you and for people you'll be involved, because this is like a karma card. There's like something coming from the past. You're getting like 2 major arcanas over here just in a weekly reading, and it could be really, really fiery, meaning argumentative, meaning like things again coming out from, you know, from the back of the closet, and it's just like, you did it to me. Like, I mean, I was married to a Cancer, guys. And you know what happened? Like, I mean, I think we were 7 years together or something. And then he said, remember, we were going to that pizza place and you were looking at this guy. I have no freaking clue what he's talking about anymore, right? So that's kind of like how something that you're holding for quite a while might come out. So be careful, because maybe it's misinterpretation. Maybe it was like something that you have been kind of like gauging that differently in a moment. Or simply that, you know, somebody else is going to kind of come with their own grudge toward you. Hello, Hev. Didn't see you in a while. Nice to see you. Oh, I almost said babe. Men. He's a man from South Africa. So, am I right? I think from South Africa, if I remember. So nice to see. Okay. And such a nice fellow too. So let's go next is Leos. Any Leo in the house? Leo's in the house. Leo's in the house. Leo. Brooklyn, where are you? Like, oh my gosh, like we have a lovely day, except we don't have trees. I was like watching the news, and the news, you see Washington has all these trees and stuff. So, oh my gosh, I'm missing this so much. I need to move somewhere south. April is gruesome on me. Just gruesome, but then I cheer up. Okay, there is a Leo. I am Leo, moon in Leo. So let's see. So Leo is basically guarding and governing my moods. So meaning that I'm very generous. Leos are very generous, but Leos, don't you try to step on their tail, because we have sharp teeth, guys, you know. And it's not the little Red Riding Hood, right? It's kind of different. So you have 4 of fire over here. And why is this camera all messed up? Then you have 2 of fire, everything reversed. Leos, did somebody like unplugged you? 9 of sea. And then you have the Hermit. And you have 3 of earth. And then you have 6 of sky. It kind of like looks to me that you're kind of getting fed up with certain things. That's how it looks like. You're having 2 9s, which means there's like the end of something. So you maybe have been mulling over certain issues for quite a while, and you're finally reaching this point of saying, okay, you know what, I know what to do, and I know how to do this. And you're not willing to be part of any kind of like arguments. Look at that kitty. Like, that's a smart kitty, kind of like just deciding to get out and kind of like get out of this whole entire situation. And also the World card is like kind of hiding behind that. I love this card, because there's going to be a situation that is going to look for collaboration. So you really need to kind of like walk this fine line, because you will really want to spend lots of time on your own. And the Hermit card is like good time, quality time alone. Whether this is like just basking in the sun, just going on the park bench and kind of like getting a breather, just like kind of like soaking up the sun, watching the people. I don't know if you guys do it. This is a Libra in me. I like to kind of like gaze and couples and people watching around, and I kind of like study them. And it's kind of like, you know what they say, you don't really have to hear what they are saying, because most of the communication comes from body language. So kind of like see the reaction, what they do. In the morning when I walked Tiger, went to dog park with him, and that's why I had to clean my nails from mud when I got here. It was so cute. On one park bench, it was like a girl and a boy, and I cannot tell, maybe they were 11. They were twins for sure, and it was clearly they were flirting right that early, and it was so cute. And you know, she had this like big curls, you know, like kind of like a really kind of like tight curls, and he was like trying to kind of like go one by one. It's almost like that he was petting her. It was like really really cute. So you know, it's nice to see that there's like sort of like gentle approach to that. As far as you guys, you kind of like want to go somewhere, but it's one of those situations that you ever kind of like leave the house and go, oh, I left this, and then you go out and lock the place again, and oh, I forgot this one as well. It's going to be like that. You don't know if you're coming or if you're going over here. It's going to be lots of confusion. But this Nine of Sea, it's also telling me that coming and going really for you applies. Do I really want to be alone, or I don't want to be alone? Because it sounds to me that some of you almost like made this kind of like this decision that, you know, like you have the 6 over here. 6 is about relationships, but it's reverse. You don't really want to go in any kind of like situation that, oh my gosh, I can get hurt kind of a thing. And it looks like you found the comfort in kind of like your own kind of like thing. But this is really telling me that this is not going to really last, right? And there is like occurrence or appearance, like look at this like whole 9s that you have. So literally everything adds over here to 12 and to 3. And especially if you're a female Leo, you're going to feel really powerful. You're going to feel feminine. You're going to feel attractive. Good time, guys, when you feel that way to go and shop, because you're going to make yourself even a little bit more beautiful. And beauty is not so much important as a beauty to a Leo. It's more important as a function of, you know, it's feeding your solar energy over there. But at the same time, I think because this world, this kind of like new phase, karma accomplished, is almost hiding there. There's like one more thing that's going to happen this week that somehow has to be resolved. Look at him. He scratched and he had enough. And I'm taking my ball and going home. Or is it the smart kitty, like doesn't want to participate in the rest of this bundle over here? That's pretty much how Tiger looks like when I take him out. All these doggies and him just like create one big yarn. So think about that. There is like some approach. 3 of Earth is a lovely card. It's not necessarily a sexy card, right? Because in order for them to tackle this bug, they need to approach from all angles. So maybe there's like something that you still need to resolve, because this Ace of Fire is hiding there, and it could mean something from the past that was meaningful. Maybe you're linking the past and the future in the present, which is the way it is usually, but it's almost like that you're leaving it with love, and you're realizing, okay, you know what, yes, I can give myself all comforts of this life, right? Look at this. I can give myself milk and well, maybe not so much kittens. Even if you're female, you can clone yourself, the birds, you know, the other kitty cat. But the truth is, it will be so much nicer that I just don't dream about it. It will be so much nicer if I actually do something about it. So I have a feeling if you're single Leo and you haven't been dating much, that you'll start kind of like doing, you know, looking around what you want to do. And you will kind of like almost like make a rule for yourself that you want no conflicts. And whenever somebody tries to do something of that kind of kind, you're going to put the crown on and say, no, I am this Empress, and off you go. You know, I'm the lioness and I'm the lion. And you're going to get out of your shell, that's for sure. And it's going to feel really nice because other people will be there to support you and to help you. And you will be making the right choices in the right direction. And there it is. It's a clarity that needed to be taken. It's also in this 2 of Wands. You can see the kitty. Well, I don't know if I want to go out or if I want to go in, right? I mean, and this card clearly talks about going to the next level and kind of like enjoyment. But like with these 2 kind of cards reversing, it was like, okay, I know I need to go in this direction, but let me sleep a little bit longer. No more sleeping. Wake up, Leo. And that's it. Who is next? We are going into Virgos. Virgos. Oh, smooth as baby's bum. That's so cute. Okay, Virgos. Nat, she's saying, thank you, Kat. I have been feeling that way and more in my power now. That's really good. Been doing a lot of healing and talking. I turned my back to conflict with my dad is fake. Oh my gosh, bravo. You know, I'm trying to do the same thing. You know, yesterday the police called me, and my dad just urinated in his front yard, and unfortunately the kids were there, and that's what happens when you have this frontal temporal dementia. Like, I mean, your frontal part of the brain, for him it's more frontal, is affected, and this is like our behavior doing it. So, you know, I said, no, he's not pervert, he just like doesn't have an understanding to do it. But, you know, it's actually also funny. I'm going to tease the hell out of him, so I had to deal with the cops, so I'm going later to kind of like handle it with him. And then of course he's angry at everybody else. It's my property, I can do whatever I want. No, not really. Penis and little kids, nah, that doesn't get along, kind of a thing. So see, this is the thing, that he's going to lose ability to understand what is right and what is wrong. That's why he does this stuff. But no, he can't control that. But I kind of like don't like to get these phone calls, but see. Okay, so now we are going into who I didn't do. Virgo. It is like 45. Let's go 46. Virgo 46. Virgo 46. Kylie, if you can also put that number that I say, that would help, because that way we'll have the stamps later immediately, right? So it's Virgo is 46 if you haven't done it so far. Okay, and look at this. I cut it, and okay, so I'm going to do it this way since I cut it. Oh my goodness, Virgo. Oh my goodness. So you have the Emperor. It's kind of like your reading was really interesting, actually. And so the Emperor here showing up for this week is really saying that you really want to kind of like stabilize yourself quite a bit. And I don't know if you're dealing with a Leo over here, because in this particular deck, the Emperor kind of like belongs to a Leo. And it is like sort of like a decision that needs to be made, or you're getting some stability, you're getting some kind of control. I also feel that some of you Virgos have been involved in a situation that somebody maybe juggled, and somebody maybe had somebody else, and you felt either rejected or you felt not chosen, which is kind of even worse than rejected. It's kind of like almost like feels rejection plus defeat kind of a thing, right? And you have like these 2 sixes, like to you that person was so important. That would be the 3rd 6. So it could be almost like a karmic thing, because I can see this people not being together, and I can see one clearly being in charge and one not. So it could have been a situation with lots of tears. It could be a situation with lots of emotional manipulation. It could be a situation when people are so broken that they really don't know what to do, and they just simply almost like we retrieve into that fetal position, and we're just like a babies, and we want what we want. But the good news here is understanding that something has to happen, something that we have to get out of this, right? Because we have this 6 of sky again, just like what I think Leo had, like, I'm out of here, I'm not dealing with this anymore, this is like enough of everything is enough. And the 4 of sea is like this card, which is kind of like talking about tiredness, talking about like, don't call me, like, I mean, don't text me, do not contact me. It's kind of like 4 week, kind of like, you know, no contact, kind of like no contact month, no contact 4 week kind of like period. Because I think, and because this is kind of like emotional and intellectual happening at the same time, Virgos, you're feeling the need to really stabilize yourself. And you honestly, from the look at this, you feel that this is almost like a must. With the Emperor coming out first, you're really feeling that you're not going to give your power away to anybody anymore. And it also could feel, as I said, that, I don't know, like you Virgos, you like your health, and I really feel that you will be making conscious decision in how to push it forward. Actually, I did that as well. I guess that's a little bit of Virgo in me. I ordered that magnesium, that is kind of like new magnesium that they're talking about, which really helps you focus better. And oh my gosh, it's really helping. It helped after the first kind of like dosage. So I just wish that my energy also comes back. So something like that, Virgo, you'll be dealing yourself, that you will be trying to find remedies that will help you. And sometimes the remedy is just as simple as kind of like removing yourself from a toxic situation over here. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so Grace. This is Grace, and why is this Grace shown like this, that she's dancing? So maybe that's what it is. Maybe this whole situation got out of hand. You guys are definitely clearly dealing with something, and you just like feel that things could be handled better or in a different way, and hence maybe either you're leaving or somebody's leaving, and there is like, okay, cut off kind of like point. Don't call me, don't want to talk to you. And it's not going to be burning the bridge kind of like situation. It's going to be, listen, I have tried to talk to you, we're not getting anywhere, let's kind of like cool it off and see what happens maybe down the road and go from there. So I'm so sorry that I don't have better news for you, but I want to actually get one more card here because you'll be dealing with a lot. But the good news is like you're going to stabilize yourself and you're going to feel good about your decision. Yeah, I'll show you this magnesium that I ordered. It's called something magnesium L308. L308. And it's, I don't know if it's going to show without, yeah, you see it here. It's unbelievable how it worked on me. I was reading about it for a while, and now I just really realized that made a huge difference. Like the brain fog, I don't know if anybody of you guys has this brain fog where you have so many things going and you don't know what to go first. This one cleared it within one hour or something. Yeah, Mind Mag is the brand, and it's called Magnesium L308. T-H-R-E-O-N-A-T-E. You can Google on YouTube and oops, what am I doing here? Nope, no. I don't. My phone sometimes texts to other people. You see, it's sides, and its sides go to reverse. So what do we see here? The lady is looking about, somebody's leaving, and she is obviously not happy. She is needing support over here, right? And the rose is down, the tears are obviously here. It's kind of like, just like here, almost like I'm seeing this in the same situation, except this is more emotional that I see over here, right? It is kind of like understanding, oh my goodness, I really hoped that this would work. I really wanted to push this kind of like forward, right? And it's clearly telling me that it's the end of the time of waiting for something, you know? You desired something, maybe you didn't get it. So the site is like, you know, that something or someone is just over, right? Because we can see it here in the Lover's card reversed, right? Maybe this was also the anxiety over some kind of like situation, and this anxiety is now gone. But sometimes I do have to tell you that sometimes that person also returns when we see this card. But with this, I feel almost like that you are leaving the situation, right? So I don't know, it could be about unrequited feelings as well, but at the same time you're really feeling that you really need to kind of like come back to your own senses, and the only way is to pull back and to kind of like declare, I mean, these are two very positive cards, and kind of like get about the situation with kind of like grace, meaning nobody else gets hurt. You're just saying, look, time out, I need to go, I need to step out of this. So that was dear Virgo. So Libra, that's my ascendant, that's my rising sign. Brooklyn, I guess I'm continuously deficient because I never actually realized how bad Canada is, and I live here for 30 years. It's kind of like sad. In April, because I come from Croatia. In Croatia, I think the 1st of March, you already have, you know, what they call it, the first kind of like signs of spring, you know, narcissus, like magnolias blooming, And here this really happens end of April, sometimes early May. So I always miss this because the long spring doesn't exist here. We have, I think, somewhere mid-May, 1 week of spring. Up to that point we have snow. We might have snow tomorrow, cold, and then we have summer on the 20th of May. So it's really bizarre. Brown, I mean, have no leaves. That's kind of how it looks this way. Okay. Okay, look at that. Nice attitude. B vitamins. I'm also taking B6 and B12. This is my to-go. These 3 things and a multivitamin. Okay, I am rambling. My goodness. So we are going Libra. That will be 5505. And we have Sky Kitten. Libra is going to be really, really bubbly. Really, really bubbly. Ooh, Fire Kitten, Sky Kitten. Are you Libra dealing with kids, or you just simply want to be childish? What's going on over here? Oh my gosh, this is like actually really lovely. You know, this is, wow. Why are you doing all of that? You are like kind of going in a situation, through the situation. I don't know, like I keep saying to you, Hermit is sacrifice, but it really isn't about sacrifice. It is about you, spiritual. That's why this is a God's card, you know? Like Jesus went on the cross to have sacrifice for everybody else. So that's kind of like, I mean, I guess bad example, right? But it is about kind of like benefiting others. It is like you're benefiting yourself. And how do you benefit yourself in a situation? You benefit by understanding, okay, this is how the other person really thinks. My whole profession, counseling, is like about sitting to people, right, when you're in that situation, and make them understand where they're coming from, because it's all this perception, all this kind of like, well, my root is like this, and this is what we do in my family, and hence you have to do that. Well, you know, sometimes you really wonder how people even get along. It's kind of like really, really weird, right? But Hermit is like really so much more, and it is, you know, very kind of like mystery kind of like card, right? Sure enough, like I mean, it's represented with a sign of Leo, Virgo, and it's like one of those like kind of like practicality, and it isn't about being fast, right? But it's like about making small changes, right? So that to me here, guys, Libra, tells me that there is desire for love here. That's kind of like a real desire that is like kind of like burning. Maybe it is still initial phases because we see these fire kittens. Maybe this will be simple that you're putting your kids, you know, ahead of everything, and maybe, you know, you are realizing that maybe you want to be on your own because it can just function, especially if you're a single mother. But it also could feel that, you know, now you're realizing maybe kind of like creating this, giving them whole family kind of like really, really would work. In the regular decks, the Hermit is, you know, facing left, and the left in tarot stands for the past, right? And also Hermit carries a lantern, which here there is no need for lantern because cats see in the dark. And so sort of like, it's kind of like illuminating that kind of like past with kind of like this newfound awareness, right? Because the lantern is like sort of like the understanding. So it is kind of like, look, everything is bearing fruits around me. It is very, very important. So it is like about some kind of like teachers, guys, that you had along your path. And it's also about resolving some kind of like fears. And it could be that there's like some kind of like emotional baggage that no longer is going to be there. Or that maybe you feel like you're meeting all these people with baggage, and it's like that your relationships are never mature relationships, that you're always dealing with a baby, and you kind of like get really, really fed up. But this is like really a time where it's becoming very significant to come to the surface, right? And it's kind of like you're living your own path, you're deciding your own destiny, you're finding your own comfort, right? And sort of like this is really objectively that you need to answer your own relationships questions, and all the dreams that you kind of like had are just about to happen. The floating cat, yes, it is about the sacrifice, but you're realizing why you're doing that, right? So for example, if you lose weight because you're going to so look good in a skirt size 2, it's a very bad motivation because it doesn't have the real teeth in it, right? If you lose weight because you're going to be healthy, you're going to be moving more, you're going to be, you know, engaging more, then that's a really good direction to go. Okay, so who do we go next? So that was Libra. So now after Libra is Scorpio. 5945. Scorpio 5945. Thank you, Nat, for being here. Lovely to see you. Hugs, 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 hugs. From Brooklyn. I think so too, over here as well. Okay, so this came reversed, and this is Scorpio, the priest. And this is kind of the opposite side of yours. Look at this, you have 2 5s. It's going to be something really destabilizing. You know what, this definitely talks about Taurus. I don't know if you're dealing with Taurus. If not, it's really talking about you, because the opposite sign of Taurus is Scorpio. So this is about going towards something unconventional, going toward or seeing things in a different way. I mean, you're a fixed sign. We fixed signs can be really difficult, well, for the other people, not for us. We kind of get ourselves. But to the other people, they don't understand that sometimes rigidness, and we sometimes don't understand like why we are compelled to do certain things. And I'll tell you why we are compelled: because we need to create a system, we need to create support, and if we fail, the whole freaking structures of all the signs fail. So we have it built in us, just like, you know, dogs and cats have built in them to kind of like chase prey. And so it's really, really important to kind of like have this ability to be loyal, to be stable, to go forward, right? But this is like really talking about maybe reshifting certain priorities or reshifting certain ways of looking at things, right? 5 of fire, it simply means sometimes don't lose yourself in kind of like doing things, because maybe something can just collapse on top of you. The fire can be costly over here, right? So there is like certainly kind of like a feeling that it might be that you need to set your own boundaries, but at the same time the other people are setting their own boundaries. The priest can actually talk about different things. They can talk about teacher, it can talk about coaching, it can talk about a guide, it can talk about therapy, it can talk about yoga. It has like really, really, really big range. So it almost looks like you're not looking with traditional, you're going a little bit sort of like different, and kind of you need something that's going to push you out of your comfort zone over here. And clearly it almost like looks like it's a new direction. That's really good, because you're getting the stars card as the last one, and this to me is like one of the nicest star, even though it's stars card, so it's more than one, and that's really good, because star should be called hope, and it's lots of hopes, like lots of stuff looking forward to. And I think this is sometimes the most important thing. I don't know about you guys, but the worst part for me of growing up is like that from looking up, you start to looking straight ahead if you're optimistic in life. So it kind of like more or less, oh, this is my day, that's what I'm doing, and kind of like paying attention to that. And this is kind of like really, really strange, because here, no, you again back to that optimism, back to kind of like that zest for life, and refocusing yourself. Interestingly enough, this is a fixed sign, you're a fixed sign, and this is like also fixed sign. You might be dealing with Aquarius, as I said, Taurus or Scorpio. And 1727, it could be that you're finding kind of like solution or resolution of some kind of like sort, right? So let's see this. What do we have here for you? Creativity. Well, the stars card, because it has this Aquarius in it, it could be creativity. It could be something that can compelling you to do online, because this card is connected with air, or it could be that simply you would like to do something via air, like let me say bungee jumping, or you know, kite flying, you know, frisbee. It's simply going to really be helping you getting that air in your lungs. And creativity is also going to help you redefine like what makes you feel good. I was like, recently I'm really very much into following this Marie Kondo. She does this organization stuff, and I mean, part of that is really weird, and that part I'm just like cutting it out. But she kind of like does different things. So she kind of like folds the t-shirt, and it's kind of big like this, so it's kind of like lots of them fit in a drawer. Looks really nice. But she also says one thing that from all her weird stuff I'm keeping, and she says keep the items only that spark joy. So this is the same thing here. It might not be for you necessarily a piece of clothing, but also kind of like what stuff in your life you feel you need to revive, you need to dust off. What kind of like sense of, hey, I'm alive, I want to look up, you need to look, and that's going to kind of like really shift you in a new direction. Okay, so good stuff, Scorpio. So the next one is Sagittarius. It was like really interesting reading for Sagittarius. I actually have a few more. I have to process them because I have to run down to Niagara Falls and try to explain to my dad why peeing in the front yard is not necessarily a great idea. So as long as he doesn't pee in the house, I guess. Sagittarius, 10525. Sagittarius, 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 Sagittarius. You know the good news, guy, about my streaming, and I don't know if you know this, you can look that red bar that you have on the bottom of your video, and you can move to the previous things, and you can listen to that. You cannot go to the future. For that you need me to really finish it. But let's see this. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. We have Ace of C reversed. We have Earth Queen. We have Fire Kitten. We have the Lovers. We have Eight of Fire. And we have Two of Earth. Oh my gosh, it really kind of like really gives me the same sense that I had in the reading from last night for the Is Your Ex Coming Back? Because it cannot be that the Ace of C, Ace of Cups, is down and the Lovers is up, unless they're two different people. You cannot want some, I mean, you can want somebody and hate them. Yeah, there are possibility, but this is not saying the same. This is more saying you want to start a relationship versus, I don't want to go in a relationship and here I want to be in love with someone. You see, kind of like it excludes each other. Mind you, one is mind and one is heart. And I can see you guys here, Earth Queen, sitting kind of like straight. This could be a wife, this could be a husband, right, of some sort, and that kind of like would explain kind of like, look, we are staying together because we are supposed to stay together, right? I definitely see here, there's issue of the kids, but I also see this one person here in this whole thing is having a completely different agenda. This Two of Earth is always talking about some kind of juggling, or somebody's juggling over here, or somebody's playing with fire, right? And you're getting quasi emotional messages, well, I love you, but kind of a thing, right? Because but overrides everything that just has been said, right? So that's why it's kind of like really hard for you to pick direction, in which direction and why certain things are going and where, right? It's kind of really interesting. An Eight of Fire could actually also talk about, and you can in the regular deck see these arrows, and we call them arrows of love, but I also see always travel, or maybe something long distance, or some maybe communication long distance. This also could mean you're connected to, I don't know, Gemini or possibly fire signs, but also you have, to a smaller extent, water and earth, right? So Earth Queen to me is also telling me that you guys are sort of like finding your space. You're finding who you are. You're finding where you want to go and what you want to be. And I really like Earth Queen personally. It's my favorite queen because she's very pragmatic. It's kind of like approaching life very much unlike the Aquarians do, like with this big kind of like, oh, it should be this way. It's kind of in a realistic way, realizing, okay, this is doable, and I don't want to get frustrated for the rest of my life by wanting, you know, to travel and have a vacation of Mars where I can actually go to, you know, 100 miles away and actually have a really nice vacation, sort of like that. I'm paraphrasing. So I really think, guys, over here it could be also issues with who you want to be with and who wants to be with you, or even who you want to be with is going to be put under question if this person doesn't measure up, because some of you, this simply can mean a child or something, or turning back, or somebody's turning back to a child. That could be a possibility. That almost looks like you want to go left, they will always go right, and the opposite, and it's going to drive you insane. But this is really good, that this kind of like occurs, even though it's somehow stuck in between the cards that are sort of like blocking. At the very least, you are feeling you're feeling that there is like a time for you to make decisions where you will feel this nice and cozy place, right? And you see, we don't have the third party over here. We simply see the two. And if you don't feel like that way, that you have this kind of cocoon, maybe it is a time to kind of like start taking action and start kind of like going in a different direction. And that's why I feel it's going to be sort of like a decision time. Do you measure up? You don't measure up? Are you working well for me and my family or not? And oh, I have to get this card for you. Communication. Yeah, I think it's going to be lots of communication. I think it's going to be lots of clearing the air. But as I said, you might be getting really confused messages. I mean, you and Geminis usually get really kind of like wires crossed. It almost like sometimes gets overly communicated and sometimes under communicated. So you need to be exactly in the same kind of like measure in order to kind of like do that. So make sure you clarify and re-clarify and re-clarify and re-clarify, right? So sometimes like people just assume that the same word means to everybody, and I know it's annoying sometimes on customer service. Well, I heard you saying this, and then just repeat everything that you said. Well, thank you for wasting a minute of my time, but in our case this is going to be really, really beneficial. Okay, so Capricorn, there you go. Kylie, this is like 1, 11, 25. Capricorn. Capricorn. Who is the Capricorn in the house? I saw a few. Andy is one. We have, oh, there's a Capricorn Venus. I don't know if Chris is still with us. I think Chris is Capricorn. We have some Capricorns. Really ambitious and loyal people. Mine is a Capricorn, Jan 11. January 11th, born at 1:11. Sorry, guys. That's my Amazon. Hello? And they hung up on me, and I hope they will call back because I really want it. Okay. So, Capricorn. And I hate when they sneak into the building. Okay. Capricorn. So we have 4 of fire. We have the Chariot reversed. We have Sky Kitten. Hold on a second. Hey, you stay. Thank you. No, you stay here. And this guy is so cute. I almost like want to keep ordering so he can actually deliver to me on Saturday morning. Very, very cute. Okay, so let's turn them around. So you guys are going to get a surprise coming. So what do I see here? You have a cat magic, you have 8 of earth, and you have 3 of sea. And if you see here the sneezing, that's Tiger and his flu or kennel cough, whatever it is. 3 of sea. Why the hell is that here? What's going on here? Oh my gosh, guys, you're not trusting someone. You really want to trust them. You really, really want to, but you're doing your due diligence over here. I don't know if you're dealing with oh my goodness, we have everything. We have air, We have mostly we have air over here, but I also see water and earth that is kind of coming in quantities. Maybe this earth is representing you. Maybe you are really trying to get out of the ditch, because the Chariot, when it's reversed, clearly tells me something went off the rails. Something went, something was not going according to the plan, and somebody kind of like really threw the wrench into something that was really, really going very smooth. Because this is usually talking about resolving certain things. This simply also can talk about you, that you were thinking that certain issues are over and done with, you're moving in a new direction, you were already planning, you were already kind of like doing things, but it just didn't kind of like work this way. Because the Sky Kitten is really talking about, hey, you know, it's either you that you're checking somebody out, or somebody's checking you out. This also, I would have to say, check your passwords, change your passwords if you can, and also check the security around your house, especially if you don't have water insurance or flooding or basement. I would really get that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is kind of like the combination, kind of like that certain things are happening, and especially if you guys now going through the spring season and this waters, that kind of like be really important. At the same time, so this is a preparation, and you guys are really good in preparation. You guys are very, very ambitious. It's really important. And now we see here cat magic, we see 8 of Earth, and we see 3 of Sea. And now this 3 of Sea is really like sore thumb, and I'm not sure why is it here. Only I can think is like linking to this. So some of you could be really married, because look at this, we have the priest, and also we have the Ace of Sky. It could be marriage, or a marriage from the past, or something that is still lingering. Maybe, you know, we get over things, we move on, we start living our life, but sometimes we live our life like zombies. Sometimes we live our lives like, you know, I want to go in a better direction, right? Or this is generally the card of, no, it's not a 3 of Sky, it's 3 of Sea, so it's actually good. But this is the card usually of somebody messing and trying to push themselves in between the partners, or there is a third party coming to it. So it's not joyfulness, or somebody is removing a joy from something. So it could actually really simply talk about an old relationship, that somebody really had some bigger plans and wanted to go in a different direction with you, and that really didn't happen. So you might feel watched, you might feel observed, or you might be wanting to go in that direction with someone, because after all, I see this cat magic, and cat magic is a lovely card, but it's sort of like very mechanical. It's like kind of like whatever you put in a machine. If you put a quarter, you're going to get quarter worth out. If you put $1, you're going to get $1 worth out. And it doesn't really discriminate between bad and good. More or less, this is kind of like you put, here you almost like want to put and create something bad, but here like it's garbage in, garbage out sort of a thing, but it's also really good things out. So this is clearly saying that you actually have everything you need. You don't need to extra preparation or extra flair or extra sophistication, because 8 of Earth is telling me that maybe some of you already have somebody in your life, and there are certain things already built, there are certain things already on their way, and just keep saying, just keep going in the same direction. You're like on the right path. Everything is going well over here. So it might kind of like create situation of jealousy over here, or somebody might feel being a third wheel, or there is like somebody else present. You know, usually like when you date somebody who is married and they say, well, you know, you see your ex who was married and has children, so they have to maintain relationship with the ex. So that relationship sometimes has to be really good for the sake of the kids, and then the new partner, well, you know, they're like wondering if something is going on. It's a kind of like really difficult situation to work in. So I can see things like that happening, and you're getting also creativity. For you guys, I really think that creativity is going to manifest, whether it's in gardening or getting some plants at home. or even painting, because you also have the Magician over here. I don't know, some of you might be also writing things as well. Creativity is generally belonging to the Empress card in tarot, and it is kind of like the flow of energy. You have to have a certain kind of like configuration in you, and the flow energy has to happen in a proper direction in everything else then works. So if nothing else, if you don't feel creative, you know what I do? I have like one of those laptop pens. So I got myself, what do you call it? Adult coloring book. And you're just like doing like mechanically trying to fill with the color. And the next thing you know, the creativity comes. Oh, by the way, how did you like my new icons for the X? Did anybody pay attention? Nobody said nothing about that. So next one is Aquarius. Oh, there you go, Brooklyn. This is really, really good. Well, this is ending of something. Have it simply means it could be some business that you're working on and you need to kind of like go to the next level or something. So yay, Aquarius, finally. Aqua. There is a guy over here in the building. He has his registration plate 1313. That was kind of like, it's a business license plate, so it doesn't have all the letters. So Aquarius. We have 5 of fire. We have 4 of fire. We have 8 of fire. And then we have 10 of earth, 7 of sea, and 2 of earth. Well, certain things are really clear. Maybe there has been some issue at home front. Maybe you had some kind of arguments with your family. Maybe there were some kind of like issues in terms of inheritance, or issues about wondering, like, I mean, what is yours, what is not yours, or what is your role in something. But 5 of fire, like you see when it shows up, like you don't see this your kitties playing. When it reverses, it means that somebody is either not paying fairly, or that somebody doesn't want to play, somebody doesn't want to participate. Especially over here, it goes from 5 to 4, and it means like we are stepping back. We are stepping to something that did work. And you know, like usually in relationships, you go and go and go, and then you get this to the point where you have like this big blow up, or you know, impasse. And the best situation there is like, go back to the step where it worked and see from that step you can kind of like maybe go in a different direction, because it kind of looks like there has been something that was not workable or not doable at this time, and Aquarians are kind of like feeling a little bit cornered in a situation, kind of like in which direction to go. Maybe there are lots of dreams, but there are not lots of enthusiasm or ability to kind of like render them in a situation. There is like this whole essence of this week being a grand finale of some kind of kind. And it almost looks to me like, I mean, the 2 of earth is I don't really see it as a juggling card in this particular spread, even though most of the time it means that way. More or less, I see that there are lots of things happening. Lots of things are happening on home front. Maybe, you know, there's like somebody happening and going in our life. If you guys are starting to date and there was like somebody you like and you're wondering if this is going to work out, you know, it might look like your guy's going in that direction. Is going to go to the next stage, whatever the next stage is, right? You are just talking, you know, and now you're meeting, or you were, you know, dating seriously, now you're getting engaged, and so on and so forth, right? 7 of sea just simply means that options are taken out, which it actually could be good. And I more or less think this is something relating to the family and these boundaries, right? And kind of like, it just like simply is going to need to be refocused on. And I'm really thinking, how is this going to reflect on me meeting my dad over here, and how would that apply in my situation? Obviously, it's going to be difficult conversation and lots of fire situation, and it's going to be an ultimatum telling him, nope, you do not pee outside anymore, and Just please use, you have 2 freaking toilets, just use one of them, please. And just continue, roll up your sleeves and continue. And simply this is saying this is life, and life brings you lemons. And sometimes when you have lemons, make a lemonade, just like giggle at that, right? Hey, you old perv, kind of a thing. It can be a joke in the end, right? So let's see, Aqua, forgiveness. Yes, it's all human. We kind of like all error. And even if people really do some kind of like transgressions toward us, it almost looks like it's kind of let go. And I can definitely see here family kind of creating problems, and family putting us in a situation that is kind of like strange. And definitely also could be situations that you're facing that are not really near to the place you live. They could be a little bit distant, but this also could mean literally I don't know if you guys are planning travel. That can actually indicate that you're trying to kind of like figure out how to position yourself to save enough money for everything, and which is really good, kind of like grounding yourself in that direction. Forgiveness, I really think it's extremely high quality of mind, not so much of heart. It's of mind, because it's not holding grudge that really sets us free. It's forgiveness that sets us free. So it's ultimately a very selfish thing to do. So you're forgiving them because you don't want to hold that anymore. Because the moment when you hold it, you're holding that toxicity, that poison. It really, really doesn't help. And that kind of like really is a good motion forward. And last and sweet, Pisces are coming next. My dear Aquarius, I can't wait to hear what you're saying. Okay. Hi, Aries, real experience. You're going to see that. So you're having lots of angels showing up in your case. And so it's going to be really, really interesting. So yeah, I also have Venus in Aquarius. And honestly, that's a screwy position for Venus, because I always want people to be my friends, and then immediately put them in a friend zone, and everybody thinks I'm not interested in them, and then till I'm interested, oh, I thought you were not, and I kind of kill all those hopes. It's always creating lots of problems. So, but at the same time, I have good friendships as well. So let's see. Pisces for this week, Pisces, Pisces. What is this? Wow, the World. Should I even draw any additional card? Because this card means like whatever you have been working on, whatever you were wondering, like, you know, your dreams are coming true, your wishes are coming true, you are seeing your accomplishments, you are understanding that it was a path. And this is kind of like having a duality inside. So both, enjoy what you have, but don't stay there too long, because the sun is going to set down and the new day is going to be around. So, you know, tomorrow is another day, and another day is going to bring new lessons, is going to bring new people, is going to bring new messages. This is a really, really good card, because this is, I call it the half karma card, because it really works in now. Like the other karma cards is, look, you're still working on this, but this is working right now this week. You guys are going to feel a huge burden taken off you, huge influx of energy, huge feelings of being accepted and loved by the others. It's going to be really, really nice. You know, like you like to be mellow. Oh, you're getting also the Ace of Sea, and you'll be attracting people to you like bees to honey. It will be, Pisces, I actually start to hate you right now. Like you have like this spectacular reading. And what else are you getting here? You're getting 6 of Sea, 4 of Fire, and the floating cat. Okay. Again, cautiousness is, if you're letting somebody come back in your life, you have just resolved this lesson with them, and it looks like you're being Pisces, right? Like it kind of like swims in 2 directions. You're saying, okay, well, this is resolved. I feel, how does it feel like when you resolve karmic issues with someone? Like you always feel tension, you always want something, and then all of a sudden things finally fit, right? So let's say you want to marry somebody and the other person doesn't want to. There are 1,000,001 reasons. But it's not when they say, sure, I'll marry you, but it is like when you feel it. That's when you feel this was resolved. and it's just all of a sudden things go in a different direction, and you get babies, and this person is completely changed person with kind of like these abilities. I'm seeing over here that you might, even though there is like clearly new direction, going in this new direction, right? And again, this is like, again, telling me this is like 4 and 6 is a 10, 1 and a 10 and 12. But it almost looks like this whole week could be like so intense that you will start something, and almost like that you're going to in the same week realize that, hey, you know, this kind of like new path already has the glitches in it, right? Because the 4 of fire, like, I mean, almost looks like you're going to meet somebody who's going to look so wonderful and or so great that you really want everything with this person. That also could mean, when I have the 6 of Seed, that somebody from the past is returning, and that's the caveat. Make sure if they're returning, they're doing this proper sacrificial kind of things, meaning you discussed what you have been dealing with before. You are discussing why you think things will be different. Otherwise, you'll go back in a cycle, even though it's saying it's kind of accomplished. So what usually happens when it's accomplished, and does it mean that we don't have the same obstacles dealing with? No, it doesn't mean that. It actually means that we will be we'll be dealing with them differently. You would just not have that edge anymore. You will not feel that somebody is like really after you or against you. So it's going to feel very, very different, right? And you guys are going to have a really nice balance in this particular week. Just make sure that if you're letting somebody back in your life, that one, you know that this time around you're going to deal with the situation differently, and two, that this person needs to do something to earn you. Very, very important, guys, because usually you're so self-sacrificing that this is kind of like not really good for you. Adventure. Well, it does look like adventure over here. Just don't go too soon too deep, which I think you will, but don't go too soon too deep. That would be my advice, Pisces. So thank you. This is like me this time around. So what is it now? 12. Oh, we managed in 1.5 hours, sign by sign. So I'm going to go to do some shopping. I'm going to kind of like do some stuff. I'm thinking, and I don't know, I mean, how long I will be doing this, because I want to take Tiger to what is this called? I cannot even think about it. Trick training, agility kind of like training. So she might be having this overlapping with my life, so I might actually move it forward or earlier or later in the same day, but I don't know it yet. She should have called me already. So thank you so much, Kylie. If you have been marking it down, then if you can just, you know, either send me an email or wait for this to be published and just like drop those timestamps. If not a big deal. Somebody's always going to do that. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope everybody has a beautiful weekend. It was so lovely to see you here. I know when it's like the spring starting, nobody wants to be around, so I really am appreciative of all of you who also show up. Thanks, thanks, Sally, thanks, Brooklyn, and I'll see you next time. Here's like short music, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, let's do something. I'll see you next week. Love you.